Chapter 8 The Mummy. A real mummy. Bandages were still wrapped around the bald skull. Most of the bandages had come off the face. It was Lutpi, Queen of the Nile. Her broken teeth were showing, her little wrinkled ears, her squashed nose, her withered flesh, her hollowed out eye sockets. Plus, the rotting bandages on her body were coming off. You could see her bones. "Oh, gross," said Annie. "Let's go." "No," said Jack. "It's interesting." "Forget it," said Annie. She started out of the room. "Wait, Annie." "Come on, Jack, hurry," cried Annie. She was standing over by the door. Jack pulled out the Egypt book and flipped to a picture of the mummy. He read it out loud. "Ancient Egypts tried to protect the body so it would last forever. So, first it was dried out with salt." "Ugh! Stop," said Annie. "Listen," said Jack. He kept reading on. "Next it was covered with oil. Then it was wrapped tightly in bandages. The brain was removed by—" "Yuck! Stop!" cried Annie. "Goodbye." She dashed out of the room. "Annie!" called Jack. "We have to give her the Book of the Dead." But Annie was gone. Jack reached into his pack, and he pulled out the scroll and the scepter, and he put it next to the mummy by her skull. Was it just his imagination, or did a deep sigh seem to shudder through the room? Did the mummy's face grow calmer? Jack held his breath as he backed away, out of the mummy room, out of the boat room, and down the stairs. At the bottom of the stairs, he heaved his own sigh, a sigh of relief. "Hey, where are you?" he said. No answer. He looked down the hallway. It was empty. Where in the world was Annie? Jack started down the hallway. "Annie?" he called. Had she run out of the pyramid? Was she already outside? "Annie!" "Help, Jack!" came a cry. A voice sounded far away. It was Annie. Where was she? "Help! Jack! Annie!" Jack started to run along the shadowy hallway. "Help, Jack!" Her cry seemed fainter. Jack stopped. He was running away from her voice. "Annie!" he called. He went back toward the burial chambers. "Jack!" There! Her voice was louder. "Jack!" Even louder. Jack climbed the stairs and he went back into the boat room. He looked around the room, at the furniture, the musical instruments, the boat, and then he saw it. Another door, right next to the door he had just come through. The other door was open. Jack dashed through it and found himself at the top of some stairs. They were just like the stairs in the other hallway. He went down the hallway, and it was lit by torches on the wall. It was just like the other hallway. "Annie!" he called. "Jack! Annie! Jack!" She was running through the hallway toward him. She crashed into him. "I was lost," she cried. "I think this is the one of those false passages built to fool the tomb robbers," said Jack. "A false passage?" Annie said, panting. "Yeah, it looks just like the right hallway," said Jack. "We have to go back to the boat room and go out the right door." Just then, they heard a creaky noise. Jack and Annie turned around. They looked up the stairs, and then they watched in horror as the door slowly creaked shut. A deep sound rumbled in the distance, and all of the torches went out.